Alright, trying out a new camera here today, so we'll see how this goes. I haven't updated you guys in a while on the Camaro. I've honestly just been trying to work on it like 30 minutes here or there when I get time in between work and family stuff, and well, let's be honest, me just being lazy. So I figured I would give an update video on everything, let you guys know where it's all at, and that way you guys can see the progress I've made in the times that I've gotten out to the garage. I'm gonna try to get better. I mean, once I get the rear, the subframe's out and everything. Once I get the diff and I get the car put back together, I'll probably start trying to make regular content. At least every other Thursday, there's a car meet that's hosted up here on 5th at the In and Out. And I'll try to be posting regular content about that. And also, once I get this diff done and I get some spare axles ordered, I'm probably going to be less afraid to take this to the drag strip. I have a daily vehicle, so I don't need to really worry about this being ready to go at all times. So I'll probably be doing more track content as well soon, hopefully once I get all this put back together. We'll see how it goes. I'm also needing to send off some parts to Guatney Performance to have them work on it. So anyway, without further ado, I'll take you over to the other side of the car and I'll show you what's going on. Oh, also, I'll do some parts opening, I guess, because I don't know what else to put in this video. So we're gonna do that. Okay, so I have the, was that the tow rod? Tow rod, upper control arm. Ooh. Yeah, tow rod, upper control arm. And trailing arm off. Where are you? Down here. Well, anyway, I've got all of it off on this side. What I did to get the diff out is I took all the suspension apart over here. I can't get this axle nut off on this side. I got it off on this one, so I was able to pull the axle on this side. This one just is gonna stay. I'll just swap all the parts, throw the diff in it that way. Slide one axle in, put the other one in, it'll work, it'll be fine. Diff bushings, or cradle bushing, sorry. Diff bushing, well, let's start with the diff. So on the diff, they sent me, here, let's turn this around. On the diff, they sent me pictures of the ring and pinion being utterly destroyed. So I'm not sure what happened with that. I was just taking a corner. I mean, I wasn't really goosing it or anything crazy. I was just driving. I just got Chipotle. I was bringing it back. I was just going around the long way, taking a slight cruise. So I'm not sure how that broke. There was howling in it that I had noticed a couple months before, and that was continuing to happen. So maybe that was part of it. There's probably some tolerances that were jacked up, and it maybe eventually gave out when I was coming through that corner. I don't know. Anyway, I've got the Eaton True Track dropped off. I've got the Motive 410 gears dropped off. A full rebuild kit. They're putting new axle seals in it. The whole rear end. Basically on the drivetrain from the rear diff, I mean, other than stock axles all the way forward and stock bottom end, the whole drivetrain is going to be replaced. And the block, obviously. But, I mean, even that's the next step, is I'm going to be going to a 416 stroker kit when I can get the money put together to do all that. So that's the next step, and then after that, it'll be boost. So I'm trying to build the rear end and that to handle 800, 900 horsepower. This isn't going to be a drag monster. I'll be doing really light launches off of it on the line. I'm not looking for crazy 60-foot times. So I'm hoping to get into the high 10s with it all said and done with full weight. So with me in the car, it weighs 4150. With all the stuff that will be done to it in the future, it's going to have a ported or a rod mod intake manifold, a centrifugal supercharger, 416 bottom end, McLeod clutch, different cold air intake, Cook's headers with MagnaFlow, header back exhaust, 410 gear. With all that, I think it should be in the 10s, even at 4150, so it should be 10s. It's also going to have the whole rear suspension. Just flip around here. So my cradle bushings are going to be replaced. My tow arms, trailing arms, upper control arm bushings, and lower control arm bushings are all going to be replaced. Diff bushings will be replaced. Pretty much the only, it's just going to be stock is literally just the knuckles, upper and lower control arms. The only reason I am not doing lower control arms is because from what I saw in photos, this type of sway bar mount won't work in BMRs. You need to have one where the lower portion of it is like the, what do they call those freaking things? Oh, why can't I think of it now? It starts with a H, I think. I don't know. Anyway, it's a different bushing style in here to hook it up to the lower control arm that BMR has. So, I'm not going with their lower control arm for the time being. It might be something I do down the road. I didn't get the offset diff bushings, and I wish I would have. It's already dropped off and everything over there. They've already got them installed, so I'll see what happens. If I break axles left and right, I'll look into buying them. They're not that expensive. So, but yeah, I got the rear cradle all pulled out. I swapped the fuel pump the other day from the stock one. This is the stock one right here. And how to tell the stock one from the ZL1 pump is this. You see where where my pinky's pointing, that little black cap, that's actually got metal and it stands a little taller on the ZL1 pump. So if you're wondering how to tell the two apart, that's how. I'm not done with fueling yet. The thing about the ZL1 pump is, sure, it's good for like 600 on E85. Like I said, I'm shooting for 800 to 900, so I already talked to Andrew at GPI. He let me know, hey, you're gonna need a, not a booster pump, the ox fuel system. I can't remember who makes it now. Another ox fuel system. So that should get me to my numbers, and we'll go with that. Another thing that I'll be doing is installing the bushings for the rear cradle. I've got boxes on boxes. This is all the trailing arms and the bushings and all that for that. That was the ZL1 fuel pump. It's already underneath the car. Had to tear the rear bumper off because I had to get the tow hitch off, which I'm not putting back on. This, I believe, is my line lock kit. So I've never dabbled in brake lines. I'm sure it's not, I know it's not hard, it's just something I've never done. So we'll see in a future video how that goes, because before I take it to the track, I'd like to have line lock on it so I'm not putting more stress on the rear end than I need to. Obviously, if you have brake pressure on your rear brakes and you're trying to get the car to do a burnout, you're putting more stress than needs to be there. So I'd like to get the line lock on so I don't have to worry about stressing more components when I'm doing a burnout. Another thing, oh wow, that's gonna be a terrible shot. Anyway, super noisy, I'm sorry guys, I'm trying out this new camera. The intake manifold, I'm gonna be pulling that off, sending it to GPI for rod mod. With everything I have done in E85 with the rod mod, I'm hoping for 500. I think our altitude here is like 2,000. I was right at 500 back when I was stationed in Illinois. So we'll see how it goes on 93 without any intake work being done. But we'll see. So my spare axles, I don't know. I want to keep them, I think, stock, just because I don't want to break anything in the transmission. The transmission's completely stock. I know people say it can handle 800 horsepower, but I beat the shit out of mine daily. And I know the TR6060 is hard to get into second from the get-go, but I would rather play it safer than sorry, so I'm going to take that and I'm going to get backup stock axles. Just if it breaks the stock axle, it breaks the stock axle. They're kind of expensive. I think these are like I don't even know what they are. I haven't checked online in a long time and I can't remember. So when I get this thing put back together, I don't know, I may shoot video of me trying to get it back together. The problem, I don't have any help, so it makes this a little difficult to do by myself. And on top of that, I'm not a very patient person, so when I'm struggle busting, I tend to get a little upset and say words that are not appropriate for YouTube. So, you know, we'll just leave it at that, and I don't need to put bleeps every 5 seconds in a video. Anyway, now that I've been rambling on, let's take a look at what's in those boxes that I have ordered from Guatney Performance and BMR. Or we'll sit on the wheel, I guess it's probably a better idea. Yes, if I hear my socks bite me. Like I said, this box here is cradle machines. So that's all that. Knife. Let's see if I can bring you guys in closer. It's a bit far. Yeah, take the shot right on my crotch. Okay. There you go, now you can see my ugly face. Okay. Go ahead and get started. Don't cut toward yourself. I'm an idiot. Let's see what this is. This, I imagine, I would assume upper control arm bushings, but I don't know. Yeah. Yep, these are the bushings for the upper control arm, and I want to say trailing arm. So let me see what the box says. Oh, little stickers and some sort of QR code thing. It's container for the box. I think there are washers in here of some sort. Yep. 2 washers in here. Not sure what that's for. I'm sure there are instructions somewhere that tell me what that is. Make sure I don't mix stuff in the box. I'm gonna put all this back so I don't get it mixed up with that thing. And we'll look at it when it's time to put it together. Oops. This is my non-adjustable toe arms. Oh, another thing, when you're taking apart the toe arms, there's, what do they call them? Cam bolts? Pay attention when you're taking those off, because otherwise you're going to do what I did and thread the cam washer onto the bolt, and you're going to fight it for like an hour and have to buy new ones because you broke the old ones because you're an idiot. So don't do that. Pay attention when you're taking off your stock toe rods, toe arms on your Camaro. So, see what these look like. Packaging. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. This is for your ABS sensors. Zip tie your ABS sensor wires. I've seen some nasty videos of someone destroying theirs, so. you guys hear that? I don't know if you can or not. But yeah, I got red ones. Match the brakes, I guess. The gray ones kind of really aren't any color that go with anything, so I just ordered their red ones. They look really nice though. Greasable bushings, so make sure you shoot them with some grease before you install them. I'm sure they probably come pre-greased, but although I don't know, these are kind of sticking, so I will be sure to grease mine when I install them. Or at least I'll follow whatever the instructions say. If they don't say to grease them, I'll let them know. Because I'm an idiot. The manufacturer probably knows better than I do. Speaking of upgrades and quality performance and stuff, did you guys see the video between GPI and Prey? I'm curious as to what's going to happen. I'm really triple lightning, obviously. I'm buying all my parts from them, so we'll see though. It is interesting. I'm excited for that race in the spring. You know. Any hoost, whatever. I don't have a trash box. Sure, next to the low pad, that's fine. Throw it all there. What's this? Trailing arms. Yep, trailing arms. Oh. This does say it's for 2012, but I think they're the same. Yeah, I think so. Does that say 2012 as well? I mean, I know, I'm fairly certain the 5th gen's for subframe's all the same. This is the 2015 Camaro. I hope I didn't order the wrong ones. I will have to double check. So anyway, I'm not going to open that because I want to be able to return it if I need to. So anyway, that was a little update on everything. Also, I'm probably, as aggressive and nice as they look, I'm probably not going to be running the 17s daily anymore. They aren't balanced. They tried sticking weights on them. There's no lip on the inside of it to put weights on the inside, so they've got knocked off. And I think that's partially because of my lower control arms. Also, this car is on Hotchkiss lowering springs. I want to lift the car back up. I do not like these springs. They're fairly stiff, and I don't like scraping on fucking everything, so I'm probably going to try to find a set of stock springs to throw back in it. Also, from what I was talking to Andrew and all them, they say it's better to run the stock springs. The spring rate on the stock springs is decent enough for what I plan on doing on the strip. So, probably going to run those. Just a cheaper option. If anyone's interested, I have a Hotchkiss X brace. I'll have those springs that I'll be getting rid of. For the springs and the X brace, honestly, what I would do is I would want your stock springs, stock rear springs, and like $200, because those X braces are like $530 brand new. Mine's a little beat up, the X brace, because it was scraping on the ground because of those lowering springs, but it's still perfectly usable. I have all the parts, all the nuts and bolts and everything, so it'll go right in. But yeah, it's a little scraped up. The springs, I don't know how many miles are on them. I mean, it's not like the car is sagging or anything, so they can't be really that old. I couldn't tell you how long those have been on the car. That was installed by the previous owner, not by me. So, oh, I don't know if I've showed you this yet. I'll see if I can insert a picture here. Did I do it? Probably not. I'm an idiot. I'll see if I can insert a picture. But previous owner dropped a valve, and I think I've told you all this before in the intro video to the Camaro. But yeah, dropped the valve, put a huge gouge in cylinders 1 and 3 on the pistons. So that's why I'm gonna go take the motor apart and have it put in. I think it's Cali Comstar pistons, rods, and I think it's or maybe it's, I don't know, most of it's gonna be Cali's bottom end. I was talking to Andrew about it for about $3,600, full rotating assembly, balanced and shipped with bearings. So I'm gonna have a machine shop put the long block back together, because honestly I'm on a Texas Speed F35 cam, but I'm a GPI guy, so I kind of, you know, what's up with that. So we'll fix that. We'll get a SS4 stage 4 no fly cut piston, or not piston, camshaft, or whatever Andrew recommends. Honestly, the majority of the time I leave it to these guys because they do this shit day in and day out. I'm not going to know anything better than the professionals that do this crap on a daily basis. So I'm going to ask them, and whatever they tell me to put in is what I'm going to put in it. So, but yeah, that's all I plan on doing with the build though. 800 to 900 horsepower on this thing would be a lot of fun. I don't plan on lighting it up any. I like the comfort that it has inside the car. The only thing with it trying to go high tens, obviously you need to have a cage. So I'll see if I can find someone here in Vegas locally that can weld together a cage that's very, very, very tight to the A-pillars and all that, so that way it leaves me as much interior space as possible. And also, I hope they don't have to put in door bars. I'm not sure what's required for a 10-second cars cage on an NHRA track. So even if I'm not on a track with it, I still would like to have a cage on it, because I mean, you never know. Shit could happen, something can go sideways. So once I get a cage, the only thing I could see me doing interior wise would be gutting the belts and putting in harnesses. At least in the front seats. The rear seats will be, I guess, stock, 'cause I'd like to be able to keep my kids in there. I gotta see what I gotta do. I don't know about all this. This is my first car that I'm really building. So I've had built cars, not built, but I've built cars in the past. And by built, I mean I had a 350 small block Chevy swapped S10. I had a Focus ST that was full bolt-ons and was short of turbo and bottom end for making any more power. So you know, a lot of the things I try to do myself, but the real specific stuff, the stuff that requires some real precision, I leave to the professionals. Call it bought, not built, or whatever you want. But I'm not going to sit here and put together, dump 15 grand into, or 7 grand into the motor and then have it blow up because I screwed something up. So I'm going to have someone that knows what they're doing put it together. I can drop it in, I can bolt a motor up, I can put a clutch in, I can do all that myself, that's fine. But yeah, but doing all that internal work on the motor itself, getting those tolerances tight or within spec or whatever, you know, making sure the rings are gapped properly to the right spec for the amount of boost that I'm running. I'm going to leave that all to them because they're going to know how to do it. They do it every day. Speaking of getting things built, when I was talking about the transmission earlier, how I said it was hard to go into second, I know TR6060s are known for it, but I want to make this car as bulletproof as possible so I never have to tear it apart again, unless it's for like maintenance stuff, like replacing a clutch in another 100,000 miles because I just put a McLeod clutch in there. I'm going to probably pull the trans and send it off to go get built. I don't know if that's going to be before or after I do the 416, probably after because I think it'll be fine for a while. But who knows, I've had the diff break on me while I'm driving, I've had the clutch go out on me while I'm driving it, so this car's at 100,000 miles and I don't think the previous owner, not that he didn't care for it, but he didn't let it live an easy life, neither do I. Whenever I'm in this thing, I beat the hell out of it, so shit's gonna break, stuff's gonna happen, so. But yeah, anyway, get off here, quit rambling on, and maybe you'll see another video of me putting this back together. I don't know if I'll film it or not. It's quite the process, dude, to get that subframe in and out by myself with sketchy jack stands and no help. So I don't think having a camera to worry about is going to be on my priority list. So anyway, update video on that. Maybe, maybe not. we'll see. If it's built, it's built when you see it next. If it's not, it's not. So anyway, catch you guys later.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!